like a zero.
Yes.
Yeah.
By February 6, the Japanese started rounding out the male. Everyone over 14 years old up, and they were being sent all the way to Fort Santiago. And back then, everybody knows if you get sent to Fort Santiago, either you're gonna be tortured or you're gonna be killed. And most of the stories I've been telling you are testimonies of those people who survived the war. One of the testimony was a testimony by Rosa Kalala. Rosa Kalala, his husband was Jesus Kalala. Rosa Kalala had a 9-year-old girl. By the time Jesus Kalala was about to be brought to Fort Santiago, he actually tried coming back to his family, hugged maybe the 9-year-old girl, and he gave the girl a picture. And then Rosa Kalala said he never ever saw Jesus Kalala again.
Moving on a fast train, life's going straining just to catch a glance, raining in everything I left behind to catch a glimpse of movement, picture stars and trees, a clear blue sky before they pass.
So by February 6, every day, the Japanese would send 100, 200, 300 civilians all the way to Fort Santiago. At that point in time, the Japanese were only executing the male, 14 years old above.
Life's just the same game, Monopoly shot, I'm here to say, but chalkboards and candy canes, they can...
This right here is an old picture of Santa Rosa College. That's the new building today. February 11, at least thousands of civilians were inside. At about 6:35 in the morning, the Japanese took about 50 civilians here. And now, they were not just taking the males, they were taking the women and children. One of the children that was taken was, her name is Rosalinda Andoy. She was an 11-year-old girl. She was taken along with the mother, Adelaida Andoy. And they were brought across the street right to this church. That would be the San Agustin Church.
They can all be erased, holding on to something, nothing in the end, what will I even gain?
When Rosalinda Andoy along with his mom was taken here, and they were asked to enter 3 at a time. And when they entered, immediately her mother was greeted by a Japanese Marines, and he was holding a rifle with a fixed bayonet. It was a long bayonet. Immediately, her mother was stabbed to the chest and then stabbed right behind. That's Adelanda Andoy. And instantly, the mother tried to put down Rosalinda Andoy to the ground, maybe to hide her from the Japanese. And her mother was stabbed 7 times. Here, 7 times all over the body. And after that, they turned to this poor little girl. The Japanese stepped on her head, stabbed her once, stabbed her twice, 6, 7, won't stop. 10, 11, 12, Adelanda Andoy was thinking it would never stop. The bayonet comes in and out of the body of this little girl who was stabbed everywhere. It only stopped after 38 stab wounds. And after that stabbing incidents, Rosalinda Andoy's intestine was out. After that, she pretended dead. When she crawled over to her mom, the mother was still alive. But in spite of the wounds she had, she still tried to comfort Rosalinda Andoy. After Rosalinda Andoy, it never stopped. Another batch was taken from there. One of them was Rosario Nieves. Rosario Nieves was a 16-year-old girl along with her mother. Again, same thing. Rosario Nieves and Balbina was the mother, went inside. Isabella Nieves was the younger sister. Isabella was taken inside before Rosario Nieves. And when they got inside, the mother of Rosario Nieves, they saw Isabella already down to the floor and when she was already stabbed. After that, same thing. The mother was stabbed, Rosario Nieves was down to the ground and again stepped on the head and stabbed about 8 times. And after that, during the afternoon, Rosario Nieves looked at her younger sister. She's still alive, but about to succumb to death. And when she went to her mother, she was already dead. Rosalinda and Rosario was rescued by the nuns. Bodies were all over here. Some of the body was bloated. And also the Japanese tried to hide the atrocity they did here because they made the survivor bury the dead all over Intramuros. And they were buried on bomb craters. And who knows, one of them could be underneath our feet.
Palacio del Gobernador.
The Palacio del Gobernador is where the Governor General stays, the highest official in the land. But because of a strong earthquake, that Palacio del Gobernador building was destroyed, prompting the Spaniards to transfer the Governor General to the summer residence of the Governor General. That was Malacanang. By 18th, he was taken from the San Agustin and they stayed in a warehouse by the 9th of 18th. By the 19th, they were transferred here, 75 of them. Back at that point, there was no building. It was destroyed 1863. It was never rebuilt up until 1945. And at that point in time, the foundation was turned into an air raid shelter. 75 people was made to fit in there. They were all packed up like sardines. The Japanese blocked the entry with an oil container. And from the air vent, the Japanese dropped grenades. Many were wounded, but some were still alive. Bernardino de Celes was wounded on the leg. He tore his habito and pounded it. Next day, the 20th, Bernardino de Celes still can hear people along with him in the bomb-proof shelter, still alive, asking for water. By the 21st, more people were dying. And by the 22nd, almost all of the people inside the bomb shelter was dead.
Take me to the suburbs where the ocean clings its bleeding heart. Our friends on nibs come streaming through a glass that's clean. No being smart, just who I am is who I am. No acting up to play a part.
22nd, he decided he had to leave. He had to get out. At the darkness of February 22, he went outside and he tried crawling there. See that parking lot behind you? When he got there, he tried finding food and water. He was not able to find food, but he was able to find water. Where? He found it on a toilet tank. He drank it and he felt the strength coming back. And then the next day, early morning of the 23rd, it was the Americans' plan to enter Manila. How did the Americans did it? 7:30 in the morning. About 7,985 shells was fired between Victoria Gate all the way to Taparian Gate. And by 8:35, shelling stopped. It was now time for the soldiers to get in. So the American soldiers rushed in. Bernardino de Celes was there. And on that morning, he can feel the shell coming down. And the feeling, as Bernardino de Celes would say, it was like being caught underneath a locomotive. Like that. It was like rolling thunder for more than an hour. Smoke was all over. It was hard not just to see, but also to breathe. And by 8:35, it stopped. The shelling stopped. And after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Bernardino de Celes heard something very pleasing. And that was, it was metal hitting the pavement. American tank. And he heard a very familiar sound. Come out, we got you covered. When he was rescued by the Americans, that's it. He was skin and bones. He was dead 3 days. He didn't have enough food for a month. There's something better. He was given chocolate with the nuns.